Even though they didn't write, the ancient Stoics were very good at knowing how people think and feel, directly about their self-control, mental discipline, and meeting between people in romantic relationships. The Stoics knew that feelings drive behavior, and their rules are just as useful today as they were hundreds of years ago. They learned how to control their feelings, so they had power over themselves and most of the choices we made. Extension over others. This episode will examine the process. Similar tips can make women miss you, even if they didn't previously. If you're interested, the key is mental mastery and the subtle psychological moves you use. If you take my word for it, if you follow these 7 essential steps, 99% of women will begin to consider you. Please watch this video all the way through and let me know what you're doing. I miss you a lot. Please follow the channel and share your story in the comments if you've been through anything similar. It would be great to hear from you. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Don't call her. Despite the seemingly inappropriate nature of the action, the most effective way to make a woman miss you is to simply avoid contact with her. This isn't about playing silly games or trying to play with her emotions. It's about creating space for things that will pique her curiosity. Human hunger research demonstrates that we value things more when they are typically unavailable. As long as you're always there for her, she will develop a habit of texting or calling you. If they're at ease and eager to return your call, you should. They never gave themselves a chance to learn how to control their emotions and master emotional discipline. Being too sensitive to outside events and choosing to stay quiet instead. Just like you need to fight the urge to reach out to her, you need to stay distant. The more attention you give her, the more she thinks it's nothing, but when you go back to it, you make her feel special. Avoid. A space where she begins to notice your departure exists. Here's the intriguing part. Even though she wasn't particularly interested in you before, your absence makes her reconsider. She begins to question why you are no longer calling, texting, or interacting with her. She might even begin to question whether her feelings were incorrect. When you're not around, she'll feel the hole you leave in her life. Waking up and wanting scarce things is normal. Most men make the mistake of being overly available, believing that constant communication is beneficial. Keeping a woman's attention is important, but this is where the Stoic concept of restraint comes into play. By not communicating with her, you demonstrate to her that you are not personally reliant on her response. This indicates that you possess your own life and will not abandon everything to pursue someone else. But being consistent is important here. If you don't call back for a day or two, you lose all the progress you've made when you suddenly show up with a text message explaining your silence. By using this strategy, you mean allowing silence to occur without providing a reason. You don't have to provide a reason. The longer she thinks about why you haven't talked to her, the more she'll miss the attention she was getting from you. Think about this. She checks her phone, hoping to see a word from someone she used to take for granted. She's accustomed to your presence, yet she doesn't receive any communication from you. Days pass by without any communication. She slowly begins to question why you haven't reached out to her. Did I? The more she thinks about doing something wrong, the worse she feels. Good news. She thinks of you more when you don't call. We were always in her inbox. This strategy works so well because it makes her face her. Even if she wasn't initially interested, the space you created will prompt her to reconsider her previous thoughts. Don't care about her. You surprised her, and now she's attempting to understand why she missed you. If she doesn't receive the attention she desires, she may question whether she misinterpreted your signs or if she is the one who's in the wrong. You are no longer in control of the situation, and the longer you stay away, the stronger her feelings will become. She will miss you in this situation. Even if she wasn't really into you before, This silence is hard to handle. She feels driven to solve a puzzle, and in her quest to figure it out, because you haven't been talking, she will think about you a lot more than she did when you were talking. Available. Another thing to think about is how this affects her view of you when you're not actively looking. You radiate an unmistakable confidence and self-assurance that captures her attention. Your lack of neediness or desperation for her approval sets you apart from most men, and you appear attractive. Not being there for her shows her that you're a man who values her by not texting her. He doesn't need to be busy all the time to feel important. This air of independence is Stoics thought that letting go of the need for outside approval was very powerful. Instead, they should focus on their own strength and self-control by not contacting her. By following this concept, you're showing that you can control your emotions. Respect for yourself. You're not letting your need to connect with others control how you act. And that self-control is incredibly attractive to women because it shows you're in control. You have your own life and don't need her to feel complete. Of course, this doesn't mean if you ignore her for a long time, she will eventually ask you why you haven't talked to her. When she left, you adjusted the dynamics so that she initiated the conversation. You have made contact, which gives you the upper hand. You've now formed a situation where she misses you, even though she didn't care at first, and is now more interested in the engagement. Before you end, don't forget how powerful silence can be. By not getting in touch with her, you give her time to think about how she feels and what she's missing. You cease to be merely a man she converses with, and instead, you become the one she considers. Chapter 2. Show her you're still interested by making her miss you a lot, even if she wasn't keen at first. Living your life is key to making a woman miss you. Once you stop pursuing her, you should demonstrate to her that you're still living your life without her. Based on your own interests, goals, and social life, she'll start to see that women like guys who have her. When you demonstrate that you're goal-oriented and life-engaged, she will start to question why you have been so active this week and whether you are comfortable without her. It intensifies her longing for you, as it evokes a sense of mystery and intrigue. Think about the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor when he lived. One of the most powerful men in the world emphasized the importance of focusing on your own journey, regardless of external events. These days, this means not putting anyone else's needs behind your own. Certainly not a woman when you stop basing your actions on her and put money into your own job. The things you do for fun and with friends send a strong message. I don't need you to complete me. My life is already complete. Imagine this. While she's wondering why you haven't called or texted her, she checks your social media. She sees that you're having fun with friends, working out, or chasing your objectives. You're not merely waiting for her to notice you, you're excessively concentrated. This way of thinking really hits home, making yourself better than you were yesterday, because it plays on one of the deepest fears women have, being alone. When she observes that you continue to live your life despite her absence, she begins to sense the pressure you're under. It can be challenging to be open and honest with her about your happiness in her absence. Put aside your worries about missing out, being ignored, and moving on. This is where a lot of guys go wrong. They think she will eat someone else. They should confront her by ending their relationship and moving on with their lives. But that's not the way life operates. You play the game, so don't brag or show off your lifestyle too much. Keep it low-key and post pictures. Take a picture of you with your friends doing something new or simply reading a book. Show her some of your personality, life without her, and the more she sees you doing well, the more it will hurt her. That works regardless of her presence. She'll want to participate more. It doesn't matter if she initially showed interest in you or not. Observing your contentment in living independently piques her curiosity, prompting her to question why. Why aren't you pursuing her like every other guy? Why are you content without her? She will find herself thinking about you more and more as she attempts to answer these questions. The way you show her you live by not being shows that you value inner satisfaction. Despite your desire for her attention, you demonstrate that your happiness is independent of her. This makes you very beautiful. This goes against the norm for most women who are accustomed to guys clamoring for their attention. In order to capture their interest and temporarily transform their lives without her, show that your time matters and that Mitch is your life. So be honest. You can't act like you're living your life for a few days at a time, then fall back into the trap of chasing her. You have to fully accept this way of thinking because it's not just a strategy, it's a way of life. If you genuinely hold the concept of self-sufficiency dear, it will feel natural to you, and she'll know that you're truly happy. Then the tables will turn, and when she reaches out, she can feel how far away you are, and she will. At some point you'll be strong enough that you won't have to drop everything to answer her. You've already demonstrated to her that your life continues regardless of her presence, and the more she observes you, the more she yearns for your presence. The longer you are apart, the more she will miss you, even if she did not previously show any interest. Because she knows your life isn't about her, she'll miss you. In the end, it's important to show her that you're still living your life. To make her miss you, don't just wait for her to text you back. Do something intriguing instead. You are building your own empire, as the Stoics would say. True strength doesn't come from outside approval. It comes from within. When you embody that, she'll. Chapter 3. Don't give in to the attention. She'll miss you. Bait women are adept at subtly attracting attention regardless of the situation. Putting up a social media post or a light-hearted text message that seems harmless is often meant to get you to come back. But here's a secret. The more you not fall for this bait gives you more power over a woman used to guys. Giving her attention with every move makes it feel like a game that she can easily win. Controlling her is easy. But when you don't do anything or give her the approval she wants, she starts to understand that she can't control you, and that's when she starts to miss you. Everyone wants things they can't have. It's in our nature. Women are no different from men in this way. When you resist temptation, manage your emotions, and maintain composure, sort the power dynamic. All of a sudden she has to rethink what she thinks she knows about you. Why don't you act like the other guys? Why doesn't he fall into the tracks? Instead of attempting to win my approval or support, you come across as mysterious or challenging. He becomes eager to discover what the Stoics meant when they said not to be affected by outside forces, and this scenario is a modern example of that wisdom. If she posts a picture to get your attention or sends you a text to see how things go, don't rush to answer. Do not respond at all, or at least do not answer right away. Let her think. The more time passes without your response, the more she will ponder and question the silence. She begins to miss you when she begins to question the situation. This is the point at which most men tend to lose focus. They are constantly seeking the approval of women. They are always chasing that little something, a little bit of attention, eagerly responding to every message or post. But when you don't pay attention to her, you're completely turning the story around. She is now the one who needs your approval and starts to wonder. It's scary to think about what will happen if you've lost interest, moved on, or even worse, found someone else. Being with you makes her think about you more often than she probably planned to. If you don't give in to her attempts to get your attention, you'll teach her an important lesson. If she knows she can't always have you at her service, she'll start to value your time and care more. Furthermore, the Stoics understood the importance of resisting urges. Particularly, music serves as a tool to regulate your emotions. By practicing restraint, you're not only taking care of your own feelings and showing her that you're not like other people who fuck over her. She may not know she's teasing you, but it makes it sneaky. Picture of yourself with friends at a party or a text message that says, "Just thought of you," or "Miss your face today." At first glance, these may appear harmless, but they contain sneaky hooks. When you react too quickly or too eagerly, you're giving up your power and showing her that you're ready to do what she wants. But when you hold back something, when something amazing happens, her interest increases and she begins to wonder why. Why didn't you answer or recognize that selfie? What's going on in your life? That takes precedence over focusing on her. Are you thinking about someone else? These questions will keep going through her mind, and she'll be thinking about you before she knows it. People constantly think about you, and when they do, they begin to miss you, regardless of the circumstances. They didn't really want to fall, so this way of holding back might feel awkward at first. First things first. It's common to want to return attention when you receive it. Stoics, on the other hand, say that being able to fight temptation and control your impulses is a sign of strength. Maintain self-control by resisting her attention-grabbing advances. Ensure you understand that you are not susceptible to influence or manipulation. You are responsible for your own actions. The connection between your feelings and actions is beneficial. The main idea behind this strategy is that it works deep down, and she might not even be aware of why she's suddenly, "I find myself thinking about you more," but it's only because you're not adding to the loop of constant approval. You created a pause in the conversation, causing her to reflect on your words, blanks, and the longer you wait, the stronger that set gets. Eventually, she'll find herself. "I am reaching out more and working harder to get your attention. Now it's the other way around. And now you're in charge of the situation." All it took was some mental self-control. Stoics excelled in this area, so the next time you encounter one, remember that. There are texts or posts on social media specifically designed to capture her attention. Remember that the more you fight it, the more she'll miss you. It's not about playing games, but about maintaining your composure and demonstrating your value to her. When she hasn't heard from you in a while, she'll start to wonder why. That's when you'll know you're on her mind, missed the attention, missed being with you, and finally missed you completely. Chapter 4. Or don't be eager to try not to sound excited or overexcited when contacting. Not being excited is actually a beneficial thing. This is where it's helpful to be general. Don't feel rushed to give every detail. Don't share your activities, relationships, or life. Instead, keep things secret. The reason for this is that people, especially women, are usually drawn to things they don't fully understand. Recognize that Hook's cognitive processes tend to lead her to fill in the gaps with you when you remain silent. She often transforms you into an idealized version of yourself in her thoughts. Stoics wrote in their book, Infinite Wisdom, that being able to control your words was a sign of real wisdom. Strength. They excelled at maintaining silence and keeping things straightforward. They understood that expressing every thought or feeling was not necessary. When you finally speak to her, you can apply this rule. Just tell her enough to keep her interested, but not so much that she thinks she knows everything about you. Being vague maintains a sense of wonder, which can make you attractive. Let's say she asks what you've been up to, been doing. Instead of telling her everything you did over the weekend, just say something like, "I'm busy," and then change the subject. This way, you leave. She will begin to reflect on his actions and the people he has been spending time with. This will prompt her to think about you more than she would if she wasn't engaged in the conversation. Have you told her everything she needs to know? It's often the desire to know more that leads to a greater interest. In the end, missing you as V doesn't equate to a call or a termination. It means you want to give her just the right amount of information to keep her interested without giving her too much. It is sufficient for her to be completely satisfied. Think of it as giving her a small taste of something delicious. She will want the whole food, but you are holding her off, which will make her want to eat it. If she didn't think she cared about you before, she will now begin to miss you. Be aware of this. When you're too eager to talk to her or share everything about your life, it can turn her off. Your life. It shows that you want her praise and need her attention, which can come across as being unclear, will make people feel desperate or unsafe, which is the last thing you want. Playing your cards close to your chest shows you control the conversation and the situation. Don't look for approval of your feelings or your life in general, because she's very beautiful. The Stoics would have seen this restraint as an extension of their concept of self-control. They knew that real power comes from being able to keep your own wants and needs in check by refusing to share everything. It shows that you have inner strength and don't need approval from other people to feel positive about yourself. Being yourself will make her miss you. She'll see that you're genuine. Not like other guys who want her attention so badly. You're not like them. You're in. You're in charge, sure of yourself. And most importantly, mysterious. As she begins to contemplate your presence, she will want to learn more about you, which will increase her desire for you. She wants to know about your hidden life, and as she thinks about you, as she looks for you, she'll start to miss you, even if she wasn't really interested in you before. If you maintain secrecy, she will gravitate towards you and begin to imagine her life with you. It could be like that with someone as interesting and calm as you, and that's when you've truly won her heart. Pay attention. Chapter 5. Making people jealous is one of the most strong feelings often arise in partnerships. And while it's not appropriate to play mind games, though anger can make a woman miss you, you shouldn't do anything to make her miss you. Instead of making her feel bad about herself or less important, show her that you care about other people. Women are even more attracted to you when they are aware that they are not your soulmate, as they experience a sense of competition. Whether they express it or not, they innately desire to vie for the attention of valuable men. When she observes that other women or people in general value your time and enjoy being with you, it makes her feel good. It's important to remember that she's not your whole world, because when she believes she must fight for your attention, which will make her desire for you stronger. When time and money allow, people value scarce items. When she has less time to give, she'll start to understand how valuable it is. Stoics believed that outside factors, such as the thoughts or acts of others, should not affect how you feel. In this situation, it is important for others to take charge of their inner selves. Being a little jealous is not cunning or fun. It's just a sign that you're interested. You don't care what she thinks. You have your own life and circle, and you're not waiting around for her. She wants to reassure you when she sees that you're living your life without her. She'll start to feel rushed and ask herself, what am I missing? Other people are interested in you. You can ask yourself, why am I not receiving his attention? You can make him feel like sneaky ways, like casually mentioning that you've been hanging out with friends, or that you experienced an adventure without divulging excessive details. If she asks more, don't answer. As we previously discussed, your responses should be clear. The key is to make her. She will realize you are not focused on her when she sees other people. When she interacts with other women, it makes her more aggressive, and she will work hard to get your attention. Men are more likely to pay attention to women who want to feel special. Believe they have your full attention more than anyone else, but when they see that you, If they knew they could lose your attention to someone else, it would make you feel very strongly. Your response will cause her to reflect more on you and question why you aren't paying attention to her. Start to miss you. Stoics believed that maintaining inner peace required emotional detachment. They were able to maintain peace by not becoming obsessed with anyone or anything. You can stay grounded and in charge by not being too eager or ready, and by letting allowing a little jealousy to creep in. You're showing that you're practicing emotional detachment. Being honest about how much you want her support or attention will make her want you even more. Remember to develop jealousy in a healthy, courteous manner. It's not about manipulating her emotions or making her feel bad. It's about she understands that you have options and that you value your time. In the event that she discovers that you are not anticipating her and that you are attractive and intriguing to others, she will initiate a romantic relationship with you. She will miss you when she sees you in a new way, knowing she's not alone. You are the only one who desires your attention, and you desire it more than ever. By engaging in healthy competition, you enhance your appeal and demonstrate that you're not alone. You have the ability to easily captivate her, and this is the reason she will miss you, even if she did not previously. Stoics were intrigued by the potential for power to arise from both lack and mental freedom. If you follow these rules, women will miss you without your help. Chapter 6. Nicknames. Her nicknames may seem insignificant, but they carry a significant amount of meaning. Giving a woman a unique nickname carries significant psychological weight, as it establishes a personal connection with her. She has a connection with him that no one else does. It's a quiet kind of closeness. She does not require grand actions, but instead she works deeply in her mind. The Stoics knew this. Having a special nickname for her is a quiet way to let her know that you see her in a personal way. Why does this make her miss you? Because when she hears that nickname from you or someone else, it will make her think of you. The name sticks. It's almost as if the mental bond you two have is responsible for. You and your partner have made up a secret language that only you two speak. After calling each other back and putting some space between you, she will miss that special connection, and she will begin to realize that no one else shares the same connection with her. Just thinking about her will make her miss the time she spent with you. But the catch is that if you give her a nickname, don't use it too much. The nickname originates from its rarity. Repeatedly referring to her by this term will diminish its appeal. Instead, gently drop the subject and allow her to experience the weight of your words. This is the more strategic move. The more you use it, the more she'll remember you and come to you. She'll associate the nickname with your friendship and want to hear it when you're away. Here, a clever psychological trick involves the use of a nickname. By putting a mark on her as a member of your inner circle, you've taken a small part of her identity. That only you and her share, and if you pull away and don't use it for a while, she'll start. I miss the feeling of being chosen and having a unique connection with you that no one else can have. This strategy can be particularly effective if it is combined with the silence you've created by not calling her. Already missing your attention, she's missing the name that made her feel unique, even though she wasn't. Having someone who was interested in you before the term the relationship helps her understand that she can't find someone else like you, and she feels good about that. They knew that words had power, and they used them to make her miss you more than she ever thought possible. I believed that one should utilize nicknames with caution and discernment. A favorable nickname is a perfect example of this. It's not much, but when used right, it can making an emotional connection that is hard to break, and when you put that connection together with your newfound emotional detachment, you made her miss you more deeply than before. Remember that it's not your fault. It's not about trying to trick her, it's about creating a connection she values and being there for her when she feels that connection. Even when you're not there, she'll miss the closeness that term makes her feel. Chapter 7. Teach her something. Making a lasting impression on a woman is crucial, particularly if she initially shows no interest. Want to teach her something new. It could be a skill or a new subject. Consider introducing her to a book she enjoys or a theory she's unfamiliar with. You've never considered becoming someone who is receptive to new ideas before. The Stoics thought that what you do leaves a mark that lasts long after you stop talking to her. Learning and improving yourself are the ways to grow and reach enlightenment. You can live by this idea, getting to be her teacher in some way. Why does this work so well? When someone gives you something, it simply makes you feel connected to that person. Those who have imparted valuable knowledge, be it a skill or a life lesson, are invaluable. This will open her to new ideas, make you stand out, and help her connect the new ideas with you. If she has a skill or piece of information with you, she will think of you every time she uses it, even when you're not around. She recalls that concept, but it's more than just a method of imparting knowledge. This is useful, but it's also about encouraging her to think in novel ways. Women like guys who can stimulate them. You enhance their mental and emotional well-being by guiding her to view the world from a fresh perspective. You are superior to the majority of the men she encounters. You are not merely another individual who sends her compliments or requests an outing. You're someone who improves her life, stimulates her thinking, and adds value. Value in ways she didn't expect. For instance, teaching her a basic new cooking skill could be beneficial. Every time she prepares a dish, you teach her about Stoic thought. Read her a quote by Marcus Aurelius. It will make her think of you during the learning process, is linked to her memories of you, and those memories will keep coming back to her, making her miss you more than you were there. Just another guy after her attention, and this is where things get nasty. It would be more effective if you call her back immediately after teaching her something, without waiting. You don't keep checking in to see if she's doing what you taught her. Instead, you let her learn on her own. Stoics believed in independence, so they let her learn something new on her own and then stepped back. You are showing her that you believe in her ability to grow on her own. She will miss having you around because you've been so important to her growth. The final twist in this strategy is the development of an emotional connection, not just someone seeking approval. By teaching her something based on what you both know, you're creating a moment that belongs to both of you. She'll keep you two to herself while she tries to get rid of you. Thinking back to that moment, I remember how you made her feel both pushed, and she is wise, and she won't quickly forget how that made her feel. The Stoics knew that. Women are naturally strong, and when you teach her something new, you help her get stronger on the inside. You're also staying involved in her journey even though you can't be there. Being emotionally present is the key to making her miss you, even if she didn't at first. If you're interested, you've made yourself indispensable to her learning and growth by not getting in touch with her. Telling her you're living your life instead of letting her attention get in the way by being vague, making her jealous, using nicknames, and stud detachment is the skill of giving her something new to think about, while still making her think about you. You're not chasing her all the time. Instead, you're pulling her to you by being a man in charge of his life. We don't intend the 7 strategies below to deceive someone into sacrificing his feelings, time, or life. They focus on understanding the thoughts and actions of others and utilizing this understanding to your benefit. The Stoics were excellent at this. If you follow these rules, you too can achieve success. You'll find that even women, Those who initially showed no interest in you will begin to miss you. They'll miss the attention, the wonder, and the value you bring into their lives. And that's the power of silent attraction.